In part one, I gave you a number. 68% of your employees are using AI tools that nobody approved. And I gave you a counterintuitive move to follow up with that. I said, don't ban it, redirect it. Because unsanctioned use is free market research, and a ban will burn the map that guides you to how employees are using AI, where they're using it, and it'll actually just drive the behavior underground. Also, if you ran the amnesty survey I asked you to run, you now have that list. It'll list out the tools that your people use and the jobs that they use it for. If you haven't done that yet, you can head over to c4techservices.com and download our version of the amnesty survey. Send it out to your teams anonymously and see what they say. Now we're going to put that all to work. I'm going to give you a 3-part framework, a 1-page rule you can write today, and the one organizational move that gives you speed and control at the same time. I'm Zac Engler, Chief AI Officer for C4 Tech Services. This is the AI for Executives podcast. Let's bring that shadow AI into the light. So here's the whole framework in 3 words: surface, sanction, and stage. Surface is what you've already started. The amnesty survey. You bring those hidden AI tools and usage into the open so you can actually see what's happening and where the value is for AI within your organization. Sanction is the next move. You take the jobs your people are already doing in the shadows with AI, and you give them a safe, approved way to do exactly that. A vetted tool that lives inside your environment, and one simple rule about what data is allowed and where. You're not fighting the demand, you're meeting it with a yes and where it's safe. Stage is the long game. As trust builds and the tools prove themselves, you let AI take on more. Carefully and in steps, but you earn your way up to AI that can act on its own instead of handing it the keys on day one. So, surface, sanction, stage. That's the path from chaos to control without killing the momentum that your teams are silently building behind the scenes. Let's take the 2 pieces that matter most that you can apply tomorrow. So here's the one you can write in the same day that you hear this. I call it the data traffic light. It's 1 page long, and anyone on your team can understand it in less than 30 seconds. 3 colors is how it works. Green data is first. This is public information, stuff that's already out in the world about your company, marketing, copy, published materials, anything you'd happily put on your website. It's green data that's fine anywhere and everywhere. You can use it with any of the AI tools at your disposal because it's already out in the public sphere. Yellow data is internal information. It's not secret, but it's not for the public either. These are things like project notes, internal drafts, operational details. Yellow data is allowed, but only in approved tools, and it's the ones that live inside your environment. Then lastly, you have red data. This is regulated, personal, customer information, personal identifiable information, account numbers, health information, anything that identifies a real person and anything an auditor would actually care about. Red data never goes into any public AI tool, full stop, no exceptions, not just this once, never. And that's the whole page. Green can go anywhere, any AI tool. Yellow goes into the approved tools only, and red never touches any public AI whatsoever. Hand that page of paper out or send that email tomorrow. And here's what happens. Most of your shadow AI risk will disappear overnight, because the real danger was never that people are intentionally using AI to share your information with other systems. It was just that nobody told them which data was dangerous to share in the first place. The person pasting a customer record into a public model wasn't being intentionally reckless or negligent. They just never had a red light. So give them the light. And almost all of them will stop at it. It's 1 page, it's 3 colors, you can roll it out in 1 day. That single sheet does more for your risk than any blocked website ever will. Now, that's not to say that blocked websites don't add value and ultimately are a good best practice to roll out, but at the same time, just creating awareness is oftentimes the cheapest and easiest thing for you to do to get started. So I keep saying approved tools inside your environment. Let me make that a little bit more concrete, because it's a technical idea underneath the yellow light, and you need to be able to explain it clearly to your teams. The phrase that technical people like to use is within your tenant. Here's what that means in plain English. Within a tenant, a tool keeps all of your data inside of your own four walls. It's what your people type into and stays yours. It doesn't get sent off to train a public model that anyone else could ever benefit from. And the same brand name AI that you already know can be run this way. It's a version that's walled off and belongs to you. A good example of this is Microsoft Office and Microsoft Copilot. All that information lives within your tenant. And if you trust Office, you can trust Copilot. And that's the difference between a free public chatbot and an enterprise level AI system. Same intelligence, but completely different data paths. And here's one sentence that you can repeat to your board to help reinforce all this. In-tenant tools keep our data inside our walls so that AI works for us without our customer information ever leaving the building or without ever leaving your control. And that's it. That's the whole concept. When you give people a sanctioned in-tenant tool like Copilot, like Claude Enterprise, ChatGPT Enterprise, Gemini Enterprise, you're not taking away the thing that they liked. You're giving them the same capability, but with the data risk engineered out. So now we come to the third word, which is stage. This is where things get interesting and where most of the fear about AI actually lives. At some point, you won't just want AI that helps a person do a task. You'll want AI that does the task for people, an agent that acts on its own. That's where the real leverage is. And it's also where the real risk is. So you have to earn that autonomy in steps. Let me show you what staged autonomy looks like with an example. I recently worked with a regional bank, and all banks have federal scrutiny, where the cost of a wrong move was enormous. We didn't hand an AI agent the keys on day one. Instead, we worked to stage it. The first step was read only and notify. The AI looks, finds something, and tells a human what it found. It can't touch anything. It just raises its hand and says, here's what I would do. And you watch how good it is at raising its hand. The second step is to validate. So now the AI proposes an action and a person checks before anything actually happens. You're building a track record, essentially, and you're learning where it's reliable and where it's not. The third step is then to act with a sign off. Once it's earned the trust on the narrow thing that it does, you let it act with a human sign off on the moves that matter. And if you notice the shape here, it's that the trust is earned. It's never just given over. And each step is small enough that if a mistake gets caught, it's not catastrophic. You never go from zero to fully autonomous. You climb step by step. And by the time the AI is acting on its own, it's done the job correctly hundreds of times and under the supervision of a human first. That's how a regulated business gets the benefit of agents without betting the entire institution on day one. So who owns all of this? Who runs the surface, sanction, and stage every day, so it doesn't all land on your desk? You're sitting on a real tension here, and you could probably feel it. AI is getting faster every day. And you don't want to be the one personally holding back every AI tool that a team asks for. That's a bottleneck, and it's beneath your job. But you also can't let every team just go do whatever they want, because that's how you get to the shadow AI mess in the first place. So a bottleneck on one side or endless AI tool sprawl is on the other. The fix is relatively small, and what it is it's an empowered group in the middle of your organization. A center of excellence, or COE, gets the approved in-tenant tools and that follows the traffic light rule, and it puts that into the hands of teams fast without every request climbing all the way up to your signature or approval. That's how you killed the bottleneck. And it pushes real decisions up. When something genuinely needs leadership or a real budget call or a real policy gap or a real risk, the COE can escalate it to you. Not everything, just the very few things that actually require executive oversight. And that's how you stay in control of what matters. You build the rules first, then roll them out to the team. You empower those that are trusted, and you move more quickly. And it holds at the center. So one approved tool set, one data rule, the traffic light is applied the same way everywhere. And that's how you stop that tool sprawl before it starts, because teams get it quickly. They appreciate a sanctioned yes instead of a slow maybe that pushes them to go rogue again. That's the explicit answer to the bottleneck versus sprawl. You don't pick one. The COE gives you the speed and control at the same time. Fast yeses going out for approved things, real risks coming up, and red lights for the standard things that could get you in trouble. Otherwise, they're working through the middle of the organization, to get your teams the access and the training that they need while maintaining that security for your overall organization. One more thing, and it's for the regulated shops especially. If you run a bank or a healthcare organization, anything under examination, you've probably noticed that this will make us faster. Doesn't open many doors with your risk and compliance people. It actually makes them really nervous. So instead, flip the pitch. The phrase that'll open doors in a regulated shop isn't "will be faster," it's exam-ready evidence. So when you do this right with surfaced usage, a clear data rule, and staged autonomy, you can produce an auditable paper trail. You can show an examiner exactly what tools are approved at your organization, exactly what data is allowed and where, and exactly how AI has earned the right to act autonomously in your environment. And that's not a liability. That's the thing your whole compliance team has been begging for you to build so that the company can move forward, but you can do it in a way that makes sense for your customers, your clients, your patients, whatever it may be. In a regulated business, governance isn't a tax that you pay to use AI. It's the reason you're allowed to use AI. So if you lead with the auditable evidence, doors will open that the speed argument would never work for in the first place. So let's bring this home. 68% of people using shadow AI aren't your problem. They're your map. And they already found where AI creates value in your company. They found the jobs where you can use AI. It's your job not to stop them, but to give them a safe road to travel down instead. So here's the path. Surface it with the amnesty survey. Sanction a safe path with an in-tenant tool and that traffic light rule system. Stage the autonomy once you get there so that trust is earned by your AI agents in steps and never handed the keys on day one. And then run the whole thing through the middle out center of excellence with a green light budget and a clear escalation line so that you get the speed and control instead of choosing between one or the other. Surface it, sanction a safe path, stage the autonomy. That's the whole game. If you watch the other episode, access is not advantage. You'll notice the same center of excellence is showing up, and that's not by accident. Over there, the center of excellence is your growth engine. They're the thing that helps scale wins across your company. Here, it's a guardrail, and it keeps your data safe while it moves. Same body, two different jobs. Build it once and it'll do both for you eventually. The companies treating AI like a strategic asset aren't the ones that are the strictest. They're not the ones that are banning things. They're the ones who brought the shadow into the light and built a road for their teams to follow. I'm Zac Engler, Chief AI Officer at C4 Tech Services. Thank you so much for watching the AI for Executives podcast. If you haven't clicked the like or subscribe button, please do so now so that you can get the next episode on demand as soon as it comes out. If you haven't head over to c4techservices.com, you can check out our AI readiness survey. You can see the amnesty survey example that you can send out to your teams anonymously. We also have an executive agent building prompt kit where you can build a full virtual executive suite for you to use on a day-to-day basis. Until next time, thank you so much for watching the AI for Executives podcast.